Hello everybody, once again, welcome to Sack Time. Today, we're going to be going through Metroid on the Virtual Console, just released today for $1 as an upgraded fee, and I have a lot of these downloaded already because I'm a sucker, and that's okay. Donkey Kong looks like is going to be next Monday, this upcoming Monday rather, instead of today, interestingly enough. And we'll go ahead and check it out then. But for right now, let's go ahead and start up some of the classic Metroid. We're going to be using the Pro Controller today because I've really got a strong affinity for this thing, especially after this whole GameCube homebrew preloader kind of thing, just because I really find it to be tremendously comfortable. And now that I've resolved analog stick and button issues, I'm having a great time using that. So anyway, okay, we're starting out Metroid. This is a great game. Admittedly, this is my least favorite Metroid. But the remake through Zero Mission, potentially my favorite, perhaps even surpassing Super Metroid, which I have tremendously high on my list. One of the biggest things most people know about this version is that you have a password, which is a stupid, archaic form of idiocy that, mostly in this regard, it's got, we'll just go to it real quick. So it's got way too many options to choose from. You've got, 0 through 9, A through Z, and more A through Z, question mark, and dash. Luckily, there's a differentiation in zeros, lowercase O's, and capital O's, but it's all stupid because it's long. It's like 24 letters long password, and you can enter in, a bunch of stupid crap that you get when you beat the game. Or not when you beat the game, but when you die. To continue where you left off with, a single energy tank filled, and at the beginning of whatever area you're in. It's stupid and unnecessary. And I don't even know if we can exit out of this without restarting. Well, it's all all well and fine. I'm gonna need to adjust my controller anyway. And we're heading down there, making the B button to our A button, and I think we're good. Okay, so let's head back, and we're going to reset, just so that way we don't have to put up with the password screen. The game itself, though, what it does is something tremendous, something mind-blowing, and it's got this huge, huge map, and it really, a game of this caliber for this era is exceptionally impressive, as you have tons of world real estate to explore, items to find, lots of secrets, and this was designed in an era in which you didn't really have a lot to help you through the internet and game FAQs and maps and stuff like that. The only map that I remember getting, and this did help me considerably, was a partial map in an older episode of the Nintendo Fun Club newsletter, which had a good chunk of the game. I don't think it was quite all of it, but it was something definitely very helpful, and for a game of this magnitude, almost essential. If you didn't map out your own stuff, it was very easy to get lost. Whatever the case, they did a tremendous job with the remake, but this version is what we're going to be focusing on today. And it's got really, really good music. This is one thing Metroid is known for, is having a great series of soundtracks through the Prime series, Super Metroid 2, Fusion, stuff like that. And oddly enough, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of this. I was pretty big into Other M, just from a gameplay standpoint. It was really great. I didn't care too much about story because the way I see it, that game's story was about as exciting as this game's story, which is not at all. And that doesn't make or break a game for me when I'm having a good time playing it. So that game also did not have an exceptional soundtrack. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really like melodic and, a lot of earworm kind of music you're gonna have stuck in your head for days and days. But it's a good game, good series. This is a really strong beginning to something like this. Samus starts off with just her beam, which is short like this, as you can see. You just keep running around killing stuff. Eventually you get your Marumari, the little morph ball at the beginning, and that opens up suddenly, a brand new world of things to experiment and do. Oh yeah, and you can do a weird air jump with this thing. Forgot about that. And you find various upgrades as you're going through the game, and this really paved the way for a whole lot of stuff coming out. Castlevania 2, Goonies 2, and ultimately, Symphony of the Night took a lot of cues from the Metroid formula, and those ended up doing so well on their own that people start calling them the Metroidvania kind of games now, whether it's like more like Metroid or more like Castlevania. It's just due to the fact that you now have a gigantic open world to explore. You've got a map system, and presumably you've got some sort of leveling up system as the Castlevania aspect, equipable items and the like. But this proved to be a very popular genre for many games, especially today. So, who's to say that without Yokoi making such a fantastic treat for everybody, that we'd be playing games quite the same. If you ask me, the dude has just as much uncredited importance as Miyamoto does in a lot of regards. And it's not to say that Miyamoto hasn't just done tons of wonderful things for everybody. Oh, I need missiles, don't I? Well, you also do get missiles in this game. For people who haven't played this, maybe you've played Super Metroid, maybe you've played none of them. You find so many various upgrades, and it's the game that was sort of the king of backtracking, similar to Zelda, but I think a little bit better, in that you found more areas that were inaccessible right off the bat, and you needed ice beams, or you needed missiles, or you needed bombs that you can lay when you're a morph ball, or you need the high jump boots or the screw attack, or just a multitude of things that would allow you access to more and more and more of this entire world. And it was an extreme joy to play through. And one of the best things about this game that I think they were really going for, and they nailed, was that the Metroid series gives you an unbelievably extreme sense of isolation through music, especially like this. And you feel very alone. You're very alien on this planet, just because it's you. You're the human. You're the one lone, understandable warrior, and you're just in a world of stuff that doesn't make any sense. There's no one to talk to and no one to share your mission with and no one to understand. And it really conveyed a great sense of atmosphere, especially for its time. Of course, the game's only got better. They did not use password functions later. They did indeed use save files, which was the way to go, especially in Japan with the disk system version, having the save function basically built into it. So, unless you had a map or something, you had to use like this sort of color coding of areas and very good memory to know exactly where you're going in order to make your way through Planet Zebes or Zebes or whatever you want to call it. But Metroid is long running as one of my favorite series, and even from this one right here, her goofy running animation, it's good. It's good. The Wii U Virtual Console version feels great. It looks great. The Pro Controller is absolutely terrific for something like this. The D-pad, nice and responsive, and it looks good. Again, color's a little bit muted as per the NES emulation on the system. But for something like this, it actually doesn't detract at all, because you don't have a lot of heavy whites in a game like this anyway. So with everything feeling a little bit more muted, it works out to the game's favor decently well. I guess we could go with the long beam, but you know what? Now we get missiles. And there's just crappy enemies everywhere, and every one of them wants to chew on me. Because Samus is presumably delicious. Just like Sack Time, the most delicious thing you'll ever listen to. And check this out. We go from the Brinstar area down to Norfair. Great music. Total change of environment. Bubbles and demon mouths and lava. So pretty cool. And if you've got a lot of patience, it's a great game. I will admit that this is probably the hardest of the Metroid games for me to beat, just because it is a little bit more archaic in terms of setup and layout, and it's not an impossible game. It's really put together rather well for its time, but I believe that they really nailed it with the remake and subsequent games. So for $5 you could do a lot worse, and it's really cool to see the origin story of Samus in this 8-bit context, and you're gonna get great renditions of the music. I still find that the chip tunes are the most enjoyable way to listen to any song from this game. Remixes are great and all, but there's just something about the timbre of the NES sound chip that totally nails it. So this is Metroid. I hope you guys get a chance to check it out and hopefully enjoy it. Until Monday, in which we'll do Donkey Kong for the NES, I hope you've enjoyed another Sack Time.